Yeah, hello, Levi here. Today I was asked to record a session or a tutorial around my Muzen auto speaker I made a few days ago. So keep in mind I'm not English native, so be gentle with me if some things is not conformal to the English language. Okay, so let's start. I think we will have a few parts of this tutorial because of modeling it, UV unwrapping it, and texturing it. We have two ways that we can choose. Texturing it in Blender, so we don't need to UV unwrap it, or texturing in Substance Painter, which require to have the model UV unwrapped. Okay, so let's start. This is the model I made a few days ago and rendered in Blender. I have textured it in Substance Painter, and I did my own decals. Here the volume on off Bluetooth icon, as well as the flashlight icon, the logo, and this this part here. Okay. As a reference, I use PureRef so that I can get this always on top and move it if I need to do that. Okay. First of all, I use sometimes paid add-ons as well as free add-ons. I don't know if this is really important to know. I have here my screencast keys. If I use some add-on that you don't have and you don't know how to accomplish that part, then let me know in the channel and I will give you some guidance. Okay, so let's start. We will start with this part, the back plate of this Bluetooth speaker, and this is a normal cube. We will scale it a little bit in the x-axis, as perhaps a little bit on the z-axis, just a touch. Okay, and then Control A and apply scale. I don't know why it is. Let me show. It looks like my normals were inverted. It doesn't matter. Okay, then we will Control click on an edge to select the ring of edges, Control B for bevel, and I will add around 12 segments. Okay, right click, oops, auto smooth, and then we will try to do this one. Because of this part which will be cut out, we have to separate this part and this part. Okay, let me steal that face, Shift D, right click without moving anything, P for separate selection, and then choose this face, E for inset, and just just a little bit. And now we don't need these faces, just only the internal face. So press Ctrl I to invert the selection, and then X and delete faces. Then we will choose the face and extract it, I think, like so. Okay. Perfect. Now we have to make this cut here, and we will choose another cube, scale it down, move it in the corner, and I think this should be enough. Maybe scaling it a little bit more. So, and then put it in place to cover the whole object like this. To use native tool of Blender Vanilla, you need, for Booleans operation, you need to activate the bool tools. So go into the preferences, add-ons, and search for bool tool, and this should be activated, and then click here and save preferences. Okay, so now this is the cutter, and this is the object will be cutted. So click first the cutter, then shift click the object, and then press Ctrl- on the numpad, and this will cut out this part. Just to have here the roundness, we will edit the cutter here, this edge, Ctrl B, still with 12 segments, to round up this one. Okay, and then hide the one here. As I have installed box cutter and hard-ons, hard-ops, box cutter is doing on every cut a collection called cutters, and this is the second collection. So if I press Shift 2, it will hide all my cutters, and this is really good. Okay, so in order to bevel this edge and this edge, we have to apply the boolean, and this will be done in the modifier panel. It looks a little bit different mine as yours, maybe because of an add-on I have installed, but it doesn't matter. You have just only to click on the arrow here on your boolean and then choose apply. Mine is here, so I will choose to apply the boolean so that I can edit my object. And then I will choose that edge, Ctrl B to round up, I think quite the same amount as the below bevel, and this one I think that's enough. Okay, so this is my part, looks good, and now we will try to do this part, the front plate, and this will also be done with a cube. Let's scale it down a little bit. GZ. in order to have that lip around, scale Y a bit, Ctrl A and apply scale. I forgot to scale it in the x-axis. And be aware that this piece should be moved some pixel in the other object in order to have a grid onion later on and to have those beveled edges. The same with this one, just a little bit so that the onion is working well. Ctrl A, apply scale, edit, Ctrl Alt click on this to get the ring of edges. Go in front mode with 3 on the numpad and Ctrl B to bevel these edges. And I would suggest to make it more or less the same around as this one of the below object. Okay, looks good to me. Right click, shade out to smooth. And now we are ready to onion these parts and make it one object. Okay, so click here, the first one, shift click the second one, Control plus on the numpad, it union. This is a union boolean, you will see here, union. And the same, select this one, shift select the last one, Control plus, and now we have one object. Important is also to apply this one, this boolean, so that we can really edit the object, the whole object. We have here some edges which we have to correct in order to prevent some overshooting of bevels if we are beveling the whole object. This is quite easy to do. So go in front face, in edit mode, press K for the knife, and then it snap here on the edge. Click once, press A, to get a constraint on the y-axis, and then here it snapped again on this edge. Press again the left mouse, press escape, this was not the right one, again K, snap it here, A and C to cut through the whole object. Press here when it snaps on the next edge, and then press enter to confirm. So we have an edge on the whole object, around the object, and then we can perhaps choose this one, Ctrl X to dissolve that edge, and here the same, Ctrl X to dissolve that edge, and here also Ctrl X, and this one also Ctrl X, just to have a little bit of clear geometry. Okay, good. Let's save it. Muzen tutorial and save it. Okay. Now we can start doing this kind of boolean. For this I will add a cylinder with 100 vertices. Okay, the radius could be lower and rotate 90 degrees to get it here. G, Z, and I would like to have the same space above and below the cylinder, above and below of this object. That looks good. Scale in the x-axis in my case and move it like that. I will show on the side, from the side view, and I think it is enough. Okay, right click and shade smooth, and now with the cutter selected, shift click this one, control minus on the numpad to cut it out. And then I can select this again, the cutter. You have to unhide it, perhaps. Edit mode face, I move this face just closely to this face one, and now I will press Alt N and flip this selection, and Control B to bevel it. Scroll down until you don't have any oh, I missed some things, sorry. Go back into the object mode and Control A, apply rotation and scale. This is important so that we have 0, 0, 0 and 1, 1, 1 here. And then edit mode, select this face, Control B, if you haven't done it before, Alt N and flip, Control B, and then if this is going wrong, it means it is not flipped or flipped in the wrong direction. So again, Alt N, flip, Control B, scroll down to have no segments or just only one segment of bevel, and then drag until you have the desired bevel in it. This is a reverse bevel. Of course, we can apply the boolean and then do a bevel on the edge of this object, but I will show you a different mode when you are working with booleans in order to do it directly. And this is non-destructive. Okay, so we have this part here very well, and we will do the plastic part a bit later. Looks good. So let go in edit mode, select that face, Shift S to cursor to selected, then go in object mode and add another cylinder with 100 vertices around this diameter. So GZ, scale a little bit in the Z direction. Looks good to me. This is the part of the button. Perhaps we have to scale it with Shift Z a little bit wider. Looks good to me. Ctrl A, apply rotation and scale, shade smooth, and now I show you how to make that knurl effect here on the knobs. It's really easy to do. So we are isolating this part with the forward slash on the numeric keyboard. Then in front side, edit it, add with Ctrl R a few segments so that we have quite an equal amount of squares, and be aware to add an equal amount of cuts, like 26 by me, or 24 or 28, and not uneven amount. Okay, then apply it. That's perfect. Then we are changing in face modes, and here with the toggle X-ray, toggle in, and select this amount of faces, and let unselected the above and below set of faces. And when when you have selected the faces, right click on it and choose poke faces. Okay, then right click it again and choose tris to quads. And now again right click, poke faces, and now disable the X-ray here, and now you can change the amount of poke offset, quite so, and now you have your knurl effect. Quite easy and simple. Okay, so let's press the forward shift on the key numpad again to go back out of the isolate mode, and now go in face mode, select this face and this face. We have to make this part here inset I just a little bit, then scale Z, and scale again with Shift Z just to have this effect, and looks good to me. Okay, go in front mode and move the knurl knob down to this face and edit it and insert that face just this amount and extrude up like this. And here click on cavity on this icon and cavity and choose, I will show you, choose this parameter here to get a very good setting to show the cavity. Cavity will highlight the edges around. Here also give them a little bit of sharpness. It's also better to use cavity during the modeling process. Okay, so we have here this plastic part which is holding down the knob and lead it. This is quite simple. I will use this face, mark this face, Shift D to duplicate and right click without moving so that this part will stay in place. P to separate the selection and object mode and choose this part that we have created. Sometimes is not so easy, but if you press Alt and click on this part, you will see all the parts belonging to this, and you can select it. This is my cylinder 02. Then go in edit mode, select it, scale, Shift Z to just on the scale in the X and Y axis, scale it out a little bit like this, move it down a little bit like this, extrude, and it has changed again. Sometimes Blender is just resetting the cavity, but no problem. It's maybe a little bit too high, so let it move down again. It looks good to me. And then select, let me see if we are showing through with X-ray. This is the middle, so let's select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 faces on both sides. And because we are in X-ray, this is also selecting the faces in behind. So deselect it with Control and drag. I think we have to disable X-ray and mark these faces again. So let's see. This is the middle of the piece. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's okay. And now E for extrude in the Y axis. Perhaps so. That looks good to me. And then scale Y, no, X to get the shape. Okay. It could be a little bit wider. So let's select some more faces. With Shift pressed, select 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Some more. And now extrude, scale X, in this manner. Looks good to me. And now we can mark this one, or just mark one, select one and control pressed click on this one. No, that's not good. So we have to change to edge mode. Click here or select this bunch of edges, Control X to delete them or dissolve them, and the same on the on the bottom part. But to do this, we press the / on the numpad to isolate it, mark those one, control, maybe I mark it something too much. So we can also select with C and then right click to confirm it, Control X to dissolve the edges, and voila. Then / key on the numpad to get out of the isolation mode. I think we have to move that a little bit up. That's okay. Maybe we have to move also the knob, but let's see what's happened if we are selecting now. This is the middle again, I think so. Yeah, looks like this is the middle. So let's select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And extrude in the X-axis and scale on the Y-axis. We can also, in order to get them better rounded, we can scale the one in the X and 0, press 0 on the numpad to get it flat. Then with C, mark these edges, just only the edges. So let me try again. With C, mark all the edges without the boundaries. Control X. Again. And if you mark it once or more, then press the middle mouse and you can deselect it, and then right click to get out of the selection mode. Control X to dissolve them. The same here. Mark this one, Ctrl X, and the bottom one should also be deleted. Ctrl X, and now mark this one, Ctrl B for bevel, and then we will add with the scroll mouse or scroll wheel, let's say, no, we are scaling it in the y-axis a bit, let's say so much, and then Ctrl B, adding, let's see, 14 segments, and press C to clamp overlap so that it's not overshooting. If you don't press C, it will overshoot the bevel, you see here, and pressing C, it will clamp it, and press left mouse button to confirm. And now we have here a double edge that we have to delete or join. So get in a vertex mode and press M by distance, and you will see removed two vertices that are the two one here. We will do the same here. Mark this face, Control mark this one to get the whole amount selected. S, Y, 0 to get it flat. And then again in edge mode, C to choose this amount of edges. Right click and Ctrl X to delete them. Mark this edge and this edge, scale X, and then Ctrl B, and Blender will remember that you have clamp overlap enabled, so adjust vertex and M by distance, and the two double vertex are removed. So we have that part. We can bevel a little bit this one, but we need to remove that one to get enough place to bevel it. We can try, maybe it works. So let's choose this 3 part or 4 part, and then Ctrl B. With the same amount of 14 segments that we chose before, we can bevel it. Do not overshoot it. It means don't go over this edge here, otherwise you will have some trouble because the bevel is overshooting. So it looks not so nice, but we can also try without beveling and see what happens. Yeah, it could be also good without any beveling on that. Okay, so press / to go out of this isolated mode, and let's select this part as well as the knob, and GZ to go over a bit, maybe a little bit more, GZ. So, And here we have also perhaps to inset the face and extrude it down to get the support for the knob. Okay, and here we know that we are a little bit above, but there will be another object to support this part. Okay, I think we are ending here because of 14 minutes of tutorials. So let me know what do you think about this tutorial so far. If it's okay with the language and with the step and with the explanation, I would be happy to see some comments on the YouTube channel. Even if you have some questions about the process, let me know, and I will answer it as soon as possible. Thank you guys and enjoy it. Bye.